a seasoned strategic comms and partnership professional with a wealth of experience working for and with various organizations. She has tons of stories to share. All right, her key contribution lies in designing, managing, implementing corp comms and marketing comms, as well as curating the content through the use of compelling storytelling. And you know what I really like about her is that she has actually practiced what she preached at all times, in line with her core value of drawing out the best in others. She took up, the ACTA. I think for some of us, it's now called ACLP, where, in the L&D space, she walks the talk. Her article was recently published by the Straits Times. She keeps herself in touch with what's going on in the market. And today, she's going to be talking to us about her own professional identity in changing and different seasons. Beautifully worded. Okay, I'm going to just stop share here and pass the floor to Faith. Yay!
Well, thank you. Well, I must say that you guys all deserve a round of applause for staying thus far. It's yeah, I mean, it takes concentration, and you've done very well. Essentially, I dabble in the field of corporate marketing communications. I started my career in advertising many years ago, and then I honed my skills over the years in communications. And then in 2005, I started to go into adjunct lecturing after I had my daughter. And that kind of gave me the opportunity to go into the training space. So I went into the learning and development. So where I did corporate training, as well as career coaching of tertiary students. Okay, and in my free time, I get invited also to speak at, say, women's interest group, okay, in the areas that are close to my heart. And my greatest gift is, I would say, my family. Well, if you realize that I have a double barrel on my surname, and that's because I took on my husband's. I'm very Chinese and very Singaporean. So born and bred here. Next, I'm going to just very quickly, just ask you a question, or just for us to really think about this. Now, when you see this, who am I? Who am I? The question. Many of us would probably start to think about, okay, in terms of our either our role or our profession, things like that. So you could say that I am an employee, I am an employer, I'm a mother, I am a daughter to my parents, stuff like that. Well, to me, I feel that identity is actually encompasses both the personal and the professional. Okay, so we will unpack that a little bit as we go along. But before that, why is identity so important? And what I myself have been big on this whole issue of identity. Well, it's really because I think that identity really is the sum total of who we are, okay? The way we are wired, and that includes our beliefs, our core values, our attitudes, okay? And now, another thing that I think we all know, maybe cognitively in our head, that we know that there's only one of us in this whole universe. But how often do we really appreciate the uniqueness of ourselves? Now, I'm not talking about being boastful here, okay? But I'm talking about a quiet confidence in who you are, what you represent, what you believe in, okay, and things like that. So, there's no need to be someone else because everyone else is taken. So the best is to really just be uniquely you. Something to me, identifying a professional identity is really to find that sweet spot, and then unlocking the full potential in us. And lastly is to have a solid sense of self. This is very much tied to second point, as in, not coming across as boastful, but that having that quiet confidence in the choices you make, both the good and the bad, own them, tweak them along the way, and learn from them if we make mistakes, and just never stop discovering. Okay, that is my recommendation. Okay, so this is just a quick one from Dr. Seuss, one of my favorite authors that I used to read stories to my kids when they were younger. So yeah, so today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. Okay.
I love the tongue twister.
Yeah, I know, right? Okay, so now let's go on to this sweet spot that I mentioned earlier. So where is this sweet spot exactly? Well, if you look at this diagram, I think you could tell the sweet spot lies in this light up portion, which is in the middle. Okay, and essentially it is an alignment of what you love. Okay, that includes your passion, your mission, your giftings, and what you're good at doing. Okay, professionally, socially, and what the world needs in terms of where is the gap that needs to be filled. And of course, we all, no shame in wanting to be paid, for the work that we do. So I like this concept from the Japanese, and that's why my background today is taken from Hokkaido. They really have a very good, they're very Zen, so their philosophy really is, I like this, the concept of IKIGAI. Some of you may be familiar, is really the concept of finding that sweet spot where your gifts, your skills, your passion, your values, and what the world needs, and that you can be, that you're good at, you get paid well in, and that, yeah, in finding that space, that very nice alignment. Okay, let's quickly just talk about, well, I have drawn some definitions from the internet on what professional identity is. But please know that this list is not exhaustive, okay, meaning that, these are just the few that I extracted, okay? So it's really a personal view of ourselves as a professional according to our values and experiences. It's a system of attributes and values, okay? And that is very much in relation to the professional role, okay, for our professional culture integration. What it means is, well, to me, I find, I've always believed that my professional identity is not separate from my personal identity. Okay, I find it very difficult to, well, some people can, there's no right or wrong, but personally, I find that it's very hard to be one persona, in my personal space, and then to put up a different persona, or to take on a different persona, if you like, or characteristics in the workplace. To me, both have to align in order for me to find fulfillment and joy. So, and professional identification is really a type of a social identification where there's that sense of oneness that we feel with a particular profession. Okay, so and elaborating on that on the next slide would be this. This is really the formation of our personal of our professional identity. Now, I am the last to go. I'm aware that by now, some of us are probably having brain freeze Um, and I
No
don't want
worries,
to.
Faith. No worries. Yeah.
Okay.
I think
I
we
don't.
want to capture the essence of
Okay.
your
Okay.
speech.
I don't want to bombard you with too many definitions, but just, don't worry about taking down some of these or whatever, but just catch the essence of what I'm going to show you. So essentially, what I said, this builds on my earlier point, which is having that oneness with a profession, that professional persona that you can identify with, that you are proud to carry. Okay, and the process of professional identification in organization starts with onboarding. Okay, it is a management jargon that people use. Is organizational socialization, and what it really is this is usually done at the start of your career path in a particular organization. So they onboard you so that you could understand the ethos, the culture of and what is like the kind of acceptable behavior, skills, and things like that, in order for you to be an effective member of that group. And acculturation is another part of the formation of our professional identity, where we adopt and acquire and adjust to this new culture that we have been thrust into. So in order for us to incorporate ourselves into the prevalent culture, meaning the culture that is that's dominant. Okay, so for most people, after the onboarding session or period, in the course of their career with the company, it is really that whole process is an acculturation process of just getting yourself being more and more a part of that prevalent culture. Now, why do we talk so much about personal identity or professional identity? So let's take a look at some of the important points of knowing our PI. Well, it is really in the interaction of our individual identity with our relational identity, and then aligning with the collective identity. Now, don't worry so much about this. I'm going to show you a diagram where it will probably make sense, okay, rather than to read all these words here. Okay, so like what I said just now, I personally believe that one can't have an identity independent of the context. That means your personal and your professional. And the professional identity almost always, in fact, it should fit into the context of your life and the culture of the era, right? Like now in this 21st century, now everybody is on Zoom, getting acquainted with meeting in a virtual space in our work. And if we don't, then I guess there would be some things that we'll miss out. So so in short, PI does not exist in a vacuum. And this diagram, I feel, encapsulates, the previous slide. Okay, so all these are kind of interconnected for a professional identity.
Very nice.
To take place, or for it to conceive. Yeah. Now, so the benefits of knowing our PI are many. The first would be that it would guide our career goals and development. Okay, so that you know what you want and work towards it. Okay, and it unleashes our God-given potential okay? Like we said, there's only one of you, okay? Something that is in you that others don't have. And it builds your enthusiasm and confidence, fuels your passion, okay? It helps you to be confident in who you are and the work that you do. And you become attractive, you know, in the way, in the sense that because you are living out your purpose, you are attractive to people around you, as in you, you know, you have your own brand, if you like, you know, your personal branding, okay? And it guides your professional interactions in the work area, in the workspace, okay? Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about professional identity statements, and why I advocate that we all have one. That is really because I think sometimes we have a lot of thoughts, a lot of values in our minds, but it is always good to be able to articulate them, to concretize them, so that it is more tangible, okay? So, so that it also brings about greater awareness and bring greater confidence. So I'm going to show you some samples of PI statements. Yeah, so yeah, okay. So these are really what I have already mentioned earlier. Okay, so examples of PI statements would be: I'm motivated to build a life that is prosperous and meaningful. I'm driven to help other people do the same. As a professional recruiter, like just now, Doris, you know, manager, like Adrian, writer, myself, a business owner like Eileen, okay?
Wow,
I seek opportunities.
You covered everyone.
I seek opportunities to add value to people I meet, okay? So this is somebody's PI statement that I just pull out, okay? When you read this statement, what jumps out at you? Do you sense the person knows very clearly what the person wants, okay? Their values also is very evident, okay? Yeah, so this is one example, and there's another example here, which is I desire to use my talents, okay, in writing, storytelling, people development, strengths, lived experience, and the way that I'm wired to connect and collaborate with other people to make an impact. I seek every opportunity to uplift, empower, and challenge others through my work. I derive tremendous satisfaction in working with others to achieve a collective why, okay? That means something that's a collective why, a why that is larger than myself. And in seeing others live out their purpose and passion, okay? If you can guess, this is my PI statement, okay? So, and we all have our own statements to write, okay? So, going back to, I just want to, yeah, give us a bit of time to look at this, and also to make use of the next 5 to 8 minutes to really practice what we have learned, which is based on where you are right now in this season of your life. I would like you to write your own PI statement, okay? So
just one sentence, just one sentence.
Just one sentence, okay? Because the key thing. So maybe if you could take a while to do that, and then input your statement onto, I think there's the platform, right, Eileen, for them to input.
Yes,
and then Eileen can just go through them and pick up maybe 1 or 2 for us to look at or discuss. Okay, can we do that for the next 5 minutes?
Okay, so the instruction again is to type one statement about your professional identity. Just one statement. She's generous, you know. Just now I only gave everybody one word. One word. She allows, you know, she expand that into a sentence. So can you write your sentence?
A short one.
A short one, yes. A brief one, yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
So if you need to take reference, I will go back to my previous slide to give you an idea, okay, of what the PI statement would look like.
The question was, what advice would you give to a new writer, rookie, to enter the media industry without any writing experience?
Okay, well, maybe I can take it offline after this with you. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to chat with you a bit more.
So if you're done with your sentence, just type one sentence in the chat, okay? Because this is not a workshop, but I think it's pretty good to type that one sentence so that Faith has an idea of what you have in mind. Yeah, I think you've got some inputs already, Faith.
Okay, great.
Celine said, love life, be happy, transform your life. Yes. All right. Jean said, her one statement is, you only live once. Okay, YOLO. YOLO. I think I like what Kwok Heng has written. Kwok Heng Su. I seek to make marketing communications engaging, interesting, and exciting.
One or 2 points about this PI statement is it has to, in some ways, bring out the your flavor, because there are some generic ones, you know, like I mean, okay, I really like that you only live once. That's really good, and it's a good mantra. But the thing is that anybody could use that. So what I'm encouraging you or challenging you to do is to go, after this, go a step beyond just a generic one, and something that becomes your personal branding, something that you can own it. And when people see it, they know, straight away, okay, this is yours.
Youer than
this
you.
This is youer than you, exactly, right? Okay, so there's no one truer than
than you.
Yeah.
I really like that. I think Teo Siu Hong is so nice, have written, I desire to use my strength to better myself and help others to work harmoniously, achieving personal and corporate goals.
Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
Angela dropped a sentence as well. As long as you have done your best, do not fault yourself. Freda said, live life, love life, enjoy your life. Suen said, sharing is caring. Indeed, very nice.
Do we have something that is probably a bit more from the statement? You can tell, say, what industry the person is from. You know, like, okay, for instance, this is very specific to, you know, like for me, is my area of specialty. My areas of specialty will be in communication, as well as people development, learning and development. So if you could include something in there that gives people an idea of what your core strengths are, that would be perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't worry about that. I just wanted you to know that this is meant to give you a start, you know, to get you started on working on your PI statement. And it's something that, let me tell you, that you will continuously tweak, okay, as you go along through the different seasons of your life. Okay, let's move along to the next slide. Thank you so much for your participation. Keep working on it and refining it. Okay. Now, the tools that I'm going to talk about next is on the tools in discovering your PI. Okay, there are some tools, and I think that Doris has somewhat alluded to that earlier. There are some profiling tools that are out there. So I'm just going to quickly go through some of those personality tests, like DISC. Okay, that stands for dominance, influence, steadiness, and conscientiousness. Okay, this is a kind of personality test that gives you probably a better understanding of how you your personality, or how you are at work, and things like that. And another one is called the MBTI. Some of you may be familiar with that. It's called the Myers-Briggs Type Indicator. And there is also the Gallup's Clifton Strengths, formerly known as StrengthsFinder. Okay, and there is another one, which is the Nodal Career Cards. That is usually used by career coaches. Okay, if you want to find out more about this, go to Eileen. She'll be the best person. Okay. Now, another way in discovering your PI is really just to get feedback. I think this has been brought up earlier. Okay, feedback from who? From your co-workers, as well as even your family members, people close to you. Okay, career coaching. Okay, going to, I think WSG has career coaching sessions. Irene is a certified career coach as well. So do look up for information on how you might be able to seek career guidance from a career coach. And be open. Okay, being open means to dare to try new things as well. Okay, and dare to, I suppose, try and then fail. Okay, but most important is, even if we fail forward. Okay, that's something that I recently learned, that how might I fail forward, instead of beating myself up when I make a blunder. Okay, I ask myself, how might I fail forward so that I can do better the next time? So, and always look at it in through the lens of learning and development, and also to keep searching. Okay, so these are some of the tools. And professional identity in the different seasons. Okay, my personal story, very quickly, like I mentioned earlier, I started my career in advertising, and then I moved into marketing communications. And then I pivoted, went into a totally different space. When I had my first child, I went into teaching. I never in my life thought that I would go into teaching, but I did, and I surprised myself actually. And then I realized that, hey, actually, I kind of enjoy teaching, and learning from the students. So I did that for a good 10 years, doing adjunct teaching. And then I went into training and coaching. And then the funny thing is that when my kids grew up, or when they became older, I pivoted again. I went back to the corporate world. I went back into a full-time corporate job about 5 years ago. And and here I am now, doing what I love, which is I am actually free on a freelance basis, choosing the kind of work that I want to do, making the kind of impact that I would like. Okay, so there are many examples. You've heard of them just now from the previous speakers. Also bearing in mind through the different seasons, the different external factors, okay, such as social media, the social political scene and stuff like that. And another thing is, now our PI does not have to cease or disappear in between jobs. Okay, I know some people will think, okay, I'm not working now, so what professional identity do I have, to begin with? But let me maybe challenge you to that thinking, if you have, and that is that you can still be active in your waiting period, in that liminal space, I would call it. That means the in-between space. Okay, there are certain things about you that you don't throw away just because you change job or you are not working or things like that. There are certain core values, okay, and key beliefs that you subscribe to, that you hold on to, that will guide you through life, you know, whatever profession you are in. So I just like to correct that misconception that, hey, you know, I'm not working, or I'm a stay-home mother, what professional identity? Okay, but you do actually, you know, especially for those who would still want to have a foot in the marketplace by doing part-time work, freelance, or you know, after many years of stopping work, they come back to the workforce. Okay, so before I end, my challenge to you is this, and my encouragement is that you, how might you narrate your professional identity? Okay, how would you write your PI statement that will be uniquely you, that will encapsulate really your core values, okay, and the person that you stand for. So that's really my what I have to share today. And before I go, I just want to say that if you'd like to connect with me after this, you can go to LinkedIn. It's under Faith SUDHARMAN -Chan, okay. If you click on this, you can, I'll just show you, this is the link. And I would also like to leave you with some of the articles that I have been writing, that Eileen talked about earlier, one of which is in Straits Times Forum. But interestingly, this article got published the day after PM's National Day rally speech. So the timing can't be more impeccable, can't be more perfect than this. So this is what I wrote to the forum, and surprisingly picked as the letter of the day. Something that is very close to my heart, you know, about Gen X's. My take is that we should be seen as an integral part of the workforce, and you know, don't write us off yet. We still have much to contribute. That is my key message. Okay, and the next one, another recent one, would be in engaging, continuing to engage and develop people in the new era. So this is what I wrote for a consulting firm. And lastly, this is more in my personal capacity in Salt and Light, where I did a two movie review on what is coming up on the big screen. So you can take a look if you're interested. And that's all I have. Thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. Hey everyone, can you join me to give her a round of applause? And